They can be important if you have the ability to sort of radiate your idea to like attract people to it. So if you have a really good idea and a good way to articulate and present it, then people might be drawn to that. Often you have people in programming and art that don't necessarily know what they want to do specifically, and they get drawn to a good idea. So I would recommend like what you're doing now, showing up for this, hanging around the IGI website, maybe making your own website or a blog where you talk about your idea to try to like find the people that you need. And don't worry about like not having done it before, etc. When CCP launched EVE Online, I think no one at CCP had ever worked on a computer game before, and we didn't even know anyone that did it. There were like rumors that Halldór, or current CTO, was somewhere at EA making games, but no one really had his email. So you can have success even though you haven't done it before. Even though it's good to start small. CCP actually made Hættuspilið before we made EVE Online, so that was a way to start small. And like Hættuspilið was both a way to prove that you could finish something, but it was also a test of the game design theory that the game should be about the players and not about the game. So if you play Hættuspilið, it's all about backstopping your friends, and like there's a lot of broken families and etc. that the Hættuspilið has created, and EVE is like that.
I was wondering how much attention is CCP paying to smaller indie developers here in Iceland and looking for future with the company?
We want to help.
No, I'm just saying, if I can make a cool game, will you hire me?
Sure. Of course. Just as we would hire anyone with.
So you don't have any talent scouts or anything like that looking for people?
Are you going to be the Icelandic Blizzard?
The Icelandic Blizzard?
Yeah, they buy all the best designers and.
Well, I would rather like, do you want to work for a big or a small company? Like, some people like to do their own thing. Some people like want to like test their skills before they go and work for a bigger company. So it's very obvious we're hiring 200 people, and we will try to get as many of them as we can in Iceland. But we don't really want to sort of sabotage the industry that we want to help create. It is more important to CCP that there are a lot of gaming companies in Iceland rather than to scoop up every single like piece of talent in Iceland. It is better towards lobbying for the government. It's better to have an ecosystem of companies that are sort of exchanging ideas, talking about how they do their things. It's been a little bit difficult to be in Iceland, isolated from everyone, because you have no sort of peer group which is doing things differently, and often you get a lot of sort of reflection on what you're doing when you see someone else do what they do. Going to a conference like GDC, what's mostly important there is just to see how other people do it and have a better understanding how you then do it. And because there really hasn't been any other gaming company in Iceland for the past sort of 10 years which we've been doing this, then it's great to see all the grassroots and even the companies that have had some success already.
I heard that you're working on a World of Darkness video game.
Where did you hear that?
I was wondering how much of that development will take place in Iceland.
I can't really talk about World of Darkness. Valerie, our PR mistress, would kill me.
This is on video.
And it's on video. Okay. Now we're not talking World of Darkness.
One more question about bugs in games. More and more games are getting out in the market, especially by big companies that are filled with bugs, and sometimes never get fixed. How much work, how much part of a game does it is fixing bugs? Of course it's a big issue for you because you're an MMO game, but and it's probably bigger wheel than the ordinary game. But how much do you think is now? How do you put? Like, how much work do you put in the game and then into the bugs?
Well, okay.
And also, I would like to hear your view of this. I mean, what is your view of this evolution of games? They're always becoming more and more.
Yeah, well, the games are becoming more and more complex. And I mean, with complex software, you have the bigger probability of doing something wrong. And of course, we should focus on the bug creation process, not the bug fixing process. Like, it's important to have strong quality assurance and catch the bugs before they do harm in the market. But I would rather focus on the other end, on stop the creation part of it. So, I mean, how you develop what way of producing your game you use has a lot of impact on how much defect there is in the system when you get to the sort of quality assurance phase. And what we try to do now with Scrum, which is really important, is to intermix quality assurance into the teams that are working on the game, so you're constantly testing it. That's when you spot the bugs much earlier, before they do damage, and it's a much more difficult thing to spot them after the project has moved along. If you catch them in the creation phase, then I would focus on that. I don't really have any stats, like how much, like we have, I don't know what it is. Where's Nathan? 30 people in QA or so.
Oh, here.
30 people in QA, you guess?
Currently? Yeah. Little less.
Little less?
Yeah, like 25.
Okay, I don't want to take up the whole day. I think Jónas is next, and he even has made slides and everything. So I'm gonna end it now. Thank you.
Just speak amongst yourselves for a moment. This will take some time.
Okay?
So I'm about to begin, so you have to stop speaking now. So how many of you have already kind of centered in on an idea and are going to enter the competition? Hands? Okay, almost everyone here. How many games are you? How many teams are there? How many people here are in a team, not by themselves? Okay, and the individuals that just are. So yeah, okay. I would actually recommend that you try to build a team out of this as well. Try to get others involved with your idea, and you know, kind of expand and build on that. Just because it makes things as you go on, it makes things easier to have a partner or a few partners or group to kind of do the work. It also probably ends up in a better experience, I think. But everybody hears me? Can everybody hear me? Well, okay, great. I just wanted to spend a little time talking about game development and the game design process and basically, you know, what is it that you are kind of going to do over the next few months while you're in this competition? The thing is, probably when you start out, it becomes really easy to kind of pick up all this jargon we have in the industry, and most of these you know already. You think about what type of game you're playing, you know, you go through all these words: hardcore, casual, serious, adventure game, single player, multiplayer, is it a puzzle, is it an RPG? So basically what you start to do is you start to look at your idea or your concept based on what it is. You try to kind of classify it, and you try to understand what platform am I building it for, what's the audience, what's the purpose, what's the social impact of it, what's the genre. And the thing is, it's all too easy to forget that creating a game is actually not about the platforms or the audience, the social impacts, the genres, the technology, or the programming languages. These are just dimensions of what you're doing. what it is